Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man. What a week we've had, and what a week we got coming. Mexico and Minnesota. Minnesota, where we've got these foreign incursions. What do I do as I wait for people to come in? I play some videos. And that's what I'm going to do now. Let me see. I got some good selections, oldies but goodies, and give everybody a little bit of time or a nice hot cup of coffee. How about that? Or is it too late? Let's have another cup of coffee, and let's have another piece of pie. Ha ha! Y'all remember that song? But anyway, folks, I'll play these videos and we'll be like butter and get on a roll.
Has Donald Trump called you for advice or talked to you at all? And first of all, you've given him some pretty good advice so far, if you have.
Yeah.
But has he called and talked to you? I would call you if I was right. No.
Corralled into this box where we either have to hate Vladimir Putin and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Before you even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina, who's a puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the president of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University, and we're told that the president of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy.
You want to play this? Okay. Come on. Okay. You want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give President tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. How are you all doing tonight? I hope you had a good evening. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving? How did it go? You know, they caught another one of those light-skinned people, WHITE. You know, Joy Reid said that was the worst bunch around, is Whitey. But they caught one. They caught one. We'll get into that in a minute. Let me see who's here to see me tonight. Aracelis is here. Sherry's here. Todd's here. Kim's here. Robin. Nice to see you. Randy. Debbie. Wayne's here. Wayne, are you sporting a Stetson there? I think you might be. Damon's here. And thank you, Wayne, for going by Buy Me a Coffee, along with Mike and Bev and Gary, the chairman of the board. Anyway, let's see. Debbie's here. Rebecca. Sparky. And if we got more than one Debbie, might have more than one Sherry, too. I don't know. Let's see. Framey? Framey? Am I saying that right? Where'd it go? Oh, my word. It jumps around on me. Wait a second. There we go. I don't know where I'm at now. Wow, we got a lot of people coming in. Let's see. Where did I get dropped off at? There we are. Let's see. Okay, well, wait a minute. Awaken Trillium's here. Did I miss anybody? Rain's here. Ann's here. Anthrax. Framey, watch your language, dude. I might have some kids watching my videos in the future. You never know. They might play my videos in grade school saying, these were the Mountain Man news, the people that knew things were going on, when a lot of people in the world didn't. And all the little kids go, wow. Hi, Flannel Cheese. How you doing? Mike, nice to see you. Robin's here. Bill's here. Let's see, Mike's here. Let's see, who'd I miss? Melvita, nice to see you. Whoa, wait a second. Nice to see you. Well, now Arab people, and I learned this from, hi, David. Arabs are desert people is what, this is from Christian Prince, and he should know, all right? He's a theologian, and he has a doctorate in religion. many different religions. Darla, nice to see you. And he said that the Arab population, they call them sand people, they call them desert people, whatever, are Caucasian. But we know what they're up to. We know what they're up to. Melinda says, hi, Mountain Man. Nice to see you, Melinda. So we know what we know what the dealio is. What's the dealio? So things are moving very rapidly in Ukraine. Things are moving very rapidly in Venezuela. Did I not tell you all? Now, answer me in the chats if you remember. Just a yes. And if you don't remember, don't put nothing in. Do you remember me saying that Venezuela's airspace was closed? It's been closed. I got news for you. And you all were the first to know about it. Why? Because you listened to Mountain Man News, KNEWS. And Maduro was threatening about 4 days ago to put charges against the CEOs of airlines that would not take off. And Melinda remembers. And I don't know if I read that part about him threatening the airlines with criminal charges. But their space was closed down then. I think it was 3 days ago. And 72 hours later, it's a formal statement. Rain remembers. Let me see. I get a different color picture up because that one is hard to see. Hard to see. Whoa. Where'd my picture go? Haha, well, my voice is coming through good, isn't it, folks? Isn't it? And boom, boom, there we go, boom, there, gone. There we get Mr. T up, there we go. Trump, suspend third world migration after guard member dies. And, of course, they put a mean picture of him up. But, hey, it's time to get mean. No more Mr. Nice Guy, right? And we're also going to denaturalize a lot of these criminals that came in and a lot of the people that were brought in just for the sake of getting votes with no vetting, no real purpose to be here other than to get their gravy and continue their citizenship in another nation and have dual citizenship. That's the only purpose. So, yeah, the criminals, sure, denaturalize them. It's, I think, a 10-year period when you're very vulnerable if you commit crimes or if you become a ward of the state and can't or won't take care of yourself. Because the immigration policies we have are to benefit the nation. Ha ha, sure, you're an albino. Ha ha. What's this about the... some people have numbers and some don't. There's no numbers behind my name. That the past couple of... I'm going to have to upload this video to Rumble because I am not simulcasting. I usually say I'm simulcasting from... And so, no, I'm not simulcasting. Here's the video I wanted to play. Here's a video I wanted to play before my stream disintegrated, right? I had a lot of videos, and this is one I saved.
Thank you. And if you have any questions, please go ahead from your group.
Good evening, Mr. President, and happy Thanksgiving. I'm Senior Airman Laurent. I'm an intel analyst at the 28th Bomb Squadron. My question for you today is, what is the most memorable obstacle or hardship that you've encountered in your life, and how did this shape you to be the leader you are today?
Well, that's an interesting question. But I'll tell you, in terms of obstacles, would be the weaponization of government by the previous administration. That was probably the biggest obstacle. I won by a lot. I ran a second time, I won by a lot. And I ran a third time, and it was too big to rig. But the biggest was that. They went after a lot of great Americans. I was one of them. And I would say weaponization by my opponent was a disgrace to our nation. And I would say it was the most difficult time. And we won. And now I'm, today I'm in Florida, but generally, I'm in the White House, I'm in the Oval Office, so I look around and say, oh, well, couldn't have been that bad, but it was. It was a disgrace to our nation, and it should never be allowed to happen again, and it's being looked at very strongly. But it's a very interesting question. I don't know that anybody's ever asked me the question that way, but if you did, I would say it was the weaponization and illegal weaponization that they used where our government attacked the president and the former president of the United States of America. And I was fighting for you, not just for myself. I was fighting for you. I was fighting for everyone that I'm looking, all of those incredible patriots that I'm looking at, but the millions of people that are listening right now and the hundreds of millions of people in our country. And we fought and we won, but they're bad people. So thank you. That's a great question.
To me, is the illegal weaponization of our government, and it can't happen again. We've got to do something about it. It's got to be looked at very strongly, and that's going to include judges, okay? It's going to include sitting senators, members of the House. It's going to include including social media. And we got to get the word out so people won't be shocked, act like they don't know what the hell's going on. Here we have, I'll talk about Hegseth. They call it burying the lead. I'm not burying the lead. I just talk about it when I get ready to talk about it. Pete Hegseth. Remember they went after General Flynn right away. They've been trying to go after people right and left. They're going after Kristi Noem. Judge Bozoberg over the turning around a flight which he had no business ordering. And now it's Pete Hegseth. Hi, Graybeard. How you doing? Yeah, hit the thumbs up. Do me a favor. It helps the videos get around. I do appreciate it. So anyway, we got this Mike Kelly mouthing off again. I'll get to him in a minute, but the big story is, of course, the double tap. They get a little inside lingo, and then they wear it out. So I wore it out on my thumbnail. I'll put it up on the screen in a little bit. But, he did a double tap. And you see all the liberals, that's against the laws of war to do a double tap just to kill somebody. That wasn't the reason. I'll get into that. Did you ever watch the action when we sank the Bismarck? It rolled. Okay, when it rolled, men ran along the bottom of that boat like ants. How many of you have seen that video when we sank the Bismarck? Do you think we sent out the Coast Guard with boats and sandwiches and cups of soup to get everybody and ask if they're okay? No, it was armed conflict. We're at war. They need to go pluck their own men out of the water. And we kept bombing it and bombing it and bombing it with people jumping off of it, running all around the deck like ants. until the damn thing sank. And it was perfectly lawful. Secretary Hegseth declines to comment on a report that boat survivors were killed as a result of his orders to the military. I ought to find that video when the Bismarck was sunk. Okay? I don't know how many thousands of men were on the Bismarck. The largest battleship. It was a behemoth. They did a movie on it, Sink the Bismarck. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has declined to comment. Of course he's declined to comment because it's a stupid comment. And let me tell you something. I have a notion that this started with somebody with a big mouth in the Pentagon framing the comment in such a way as to ignite this discussion and these accusations. It may have been done this way, may have been a violation, a double tap. That he ordered the military to KILL all passengers aboard a boat. No, they wanted to totally sink it. Okay, obliterate it. Suspected of ferrying drugs in the Caribbean. According to the Washington Post, the boat strike initially left 2 survivors. It might have been 3 or 4. Who cares? Clinging to the boat. Well, that's what happens. Hostile actions against a powerful country that has put the world on notice. You end up hanging on a boat, and if you were smart, you've been swimming the hell away from it because that's the target, okay? Next time, don't do it, or have some damn good life jacket. Is it making sense to you all, folks? The job, hi, Angela, nice to see you. The job was to obliterate the target, destroy the dangerous cargo, the poisonous cargo. Right? You don't leave it. Hi, Hebrew. You don't leave it floating around to be retrieved by Confederates. Okay? What are you doing out in the middle of the Gulf of America when you can't swim anyway and without a life jacket? Hauling dangerous materials. The Post says Admiral Mitch Bradley, head of Special Operations Command, then ordered a second strike in order to comply with Hegseth's order. See, this is all inside stuff. It's inside. How do they know that? Remember, they tightened up the press's access to Pentagon officials? Now you know why. Was this an anonymous source? Did Pete Hegseth say obliterate the target? And Admiral Bradley did so? We can't help who's hanging on the damn thing. When they said sink the Bismarck, did they go, oh, there's people hanging all over it? No, they sank the damn thing. In order to comply with Hegseth's orders and to ensure survivors couldn't call on other traffickers to retrieve them and their cargo. No, we don't leave dangerous chemicals intended for our shores to be floating around like a package should be plucked out of the water and they try to figure something else out. No, we disintegrate it. Let the fish get high for a little bit. If it's true, they say, well, why do you put that comment at the bottom? Why isn't that at the top? If this is true, it's unclear why Bradley wouldn't have ordered troops to collect the survivors and their cargo. Do you all remember when 2 2 Seabees drowned in a training mission. Remember that? I played a short video, and they were missing, and they did a search for them. They were unclear what happened at the beginning. And I said they were probably doing a transfer, from their operation boat to a target boat practice, and lost their footing with full gear, and they sunk, and they only had a couple of minutes. And that's exactly what happened to them. So we have a duty to use our resources, our fuel, our helicopters. What if they didn't have a helicopter available? Do you think every patrol boat has a helicopter up their butt to dispatch with trained rescue crew? And we're going to put the rescue crew at risk of harm? Can anybody guarantee there wasn't going to be return fire from another source? They have submarines. These are billionaire drug traffickers. Talk about doing the weave. I've been doing the weave over a period of years. I said that these criminals, these international gangs, they'll stop at nothing. And I use an example, the Italian mafia. They had a particular prosecutor that was hot on their tail. They blew up a damn near a quarter mile of road simultaneously to take out the prosecutor's convoy, his security, policemen, his staff members, and the prosecutor. Blew up the whole damn road. Remember that, folks? Remember me telling that story? I told it more than once. So all these judgmental nitwits have to understand. Trump notified Congress that we are in an armed conflict. And as we learned from the National Guard incident, and many things that happen to service members in training, or even if they're taking a delivery somewhere, they're not in a home environment. They're serving. They're doing things for us in the service, and it's bad enough things can happen when you're not in armed conflict, a declared armed conflict, like the young lady that lost her life in D.C. But when you're in a declared armed conflict, your risk of injury and or death shoot way up. So you got all these liberals, and you got bots, okay, and you've got foreign entities commenting, along with the milquetoast liberals and the ignorant know-it-alls that don't know their ass from third base but know everything, right? The same ones that want to run your life and they get a job in the bureaucracy. You know those people. So why didn't they rescue him? Do they know there's not some retaliatory action that is planned nearby? You send a helicopter out there. This isn't like a family stuck out in their little sailboat that needs help from the Coast Guard. These are narco-terrorists with billions of dollars of assets, conniving, evil people that believe in a culture of death. Okay? A lot of them have. It's a separate religion. I haven't gotten into it. But they practice, as Christy Nome said, in selling infants, and human organs, and they make billions off of drugs and the aforementioned activities. So how did they know that whoever they send to, quote, rescue these people aren't putting themselves in great danger? Or even if they had those types of resources available when they intercepted these people. So we got to take a rescue team, what they want us to do is do the pull over and we're going to board you. We want to see your ID. We're going to give you due process. You're out on the high seas, okay? There's been public notice worldwide that you're engaging in hostile actions against us. We don't got to go through all that crap. But anyway, as the military did in a subsequent strike when 2 survivors were taken aboard a Navy ship via helicopter. Well, these circumstances might have allowed for that type of action. It's whatever the circumstances, and they didn't have to do that. They're on notice. They've been on notice. I think they are now, Sherry. Is it true the guards are not allowed to carry weapons? I believe they are. I told you all about that. Where is it? A video that got taken down where they said one of the guard members that took out this person went after him with a blade. Remember me saying it that way, a blade? I've got a Mike Davis put out a recap. Is this it? No, that's a different story. A recap of what happened, and turned out I was exactly right. I'll have to pull that up when I come across it. Attack. But this might be it. Let me see. Let me see if this is it. Yeah, here it is. Mike Davis. From a law enforcement source. Afghan national born in 1996, armed with a revolver, ambushed female guardsman, shooting her in the head, and a male guardsman, and shot multiple times. They never saw it coming. Both guardsmen were armed. There's your answer, Sherry. A major in the National Guard who was unarmed and doing his spot checks of the guardsmen was in the block, heard the shots, and turned to see the shooter who spotted him. He took cover behind a truck. The suspect came for the major, who pulled out his pocket knife and bravely took on the suspect, who was reloading his revolver. The major began stabbing the suspect in the head, right in the gourd. Another guardsman in the area who was armed then drew his pistole and shot the suspect twice. Oh, he double tapped. Got Osama bin Laden. That's when most people first heard the term double tap. Okay? And I watched the video. It sounded to me like he quadruple tapped him. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? When somebody's committing violent acts, you can keep pulling that trigger till you don't see nothing moving. Once in the leg and once in the buttocks. The major stated that when the suspect began shooting, he heard him shout, "Allahu Akbar." I just briefed so-and-so. Now you know too. There's more. We're trying to confirm if the suspect, an Afghan national, was an interpreter brought over by Biden because of his Department of Defense record. Again, we're trying to confirm. The suspect has a home address in Washington State. So what the hell is he doing coming all the way across the country? And the other thing that I want to bring up is, do you think it's a coincidence, a coinky-dink, wait a minute, that he went after a woman? Or did he take vast and great umbrage seeing a female not behaving in the way his culture expects and demands people behave? So, yeah, in the leg and the buttocks. Well, at least we can try to wring something out of them. Some information. Trump put this out today. Crooked Joe Biden's Mayorkas and so-called border czar Kamala Harris really screwed our country by letting anyone in and everyone unvetted. It was all for election manipulation. To manipulate. Look at this kind of crap that this Krasenstein guy. Remember, they're twins, aren't they? Two brothers. Brian Krasenstein. They used to go on Trump's Twitter. I've been over that enough times. But anyway, look what he posted. Republic. You should have stayed there. One of the most interesting conversations I had was with a Dominican waitress who didn't understand why America voted for Trump. Well, it's because of propagandists like you and the mainstream media that vilified him, slandered, libeled, and criminally weaponized our government to go after him. That's why. She said, why don't you guys just KILL him? That's what we did to our leader who molested kids. She was referring to Rafael Truila, or whatever the hell that. It's this character here. So that's what they're all doing now. They're all putting in these Biden's trash pail network comments. Trump's a pedo. P3DO. Because of the Epstein files. Even though, you morons, we've shown till the world is blue in the face that the only reason he was mentioned so many times was because they were talking about him because they were scared of him. We've said over and over and over again, the facts of the matter are that Trump is the one that busted up that little party, okay? And if it wasn't for him, Epstein and would be the wiser as to what they did. Trump helped the FBI. Trump helped law enforcement to build a case and have him arrested. So, Brian Krasenstein, I hope you get your eyeball suit out of your damn head. When actually, I think you should be facing charges for assisting with conducting the illegal psychological warfare campaign against our fellow citizens, making our lives difficult, dividing families, dividing our nation, destroying the body politic, comity in the body politic. Oh, This is just a meme. I was one I'm going to say for Christmas. Kids are so dumb, they think some guy in a white beard is going to give them stuff for free. And you got a picture of Karl Marx. That's for you, Brian Krasenstein. I think there's stuff we don't know about. Or we heard about it in the periphery, okay? FBI seizes rare 13 million Mercedes-Benz linked to former Olympian turned drug kingpin. Seizure of a rare 2002. I had a 1975 450 SL. Boy, it's a beautiful car. Gunmetal gray with a sand seats. The seats were, the color was, they call it sand. It was tan color seats and dash. And I love that car. But anyway, it's in Lebanon. The seizure of 2002 Mercedes Roadster, I'm not going to say all that stuff, is part of an ongoing manhunt for Ryan Wedding, the alleged drug kingpin and former Canadian Olympic snowboarder. Did you hear about Trump pardoning the son of, who was it? Who was it? Son of El Chapo, or I've got his name here somewhere where Trump pardoned him. The lefties are all going, oh, see, Trump's doing drug kingpins a favor. That means he does drugs too, and he abuses children too. Listen, you idiots. It was the son of one. And what do you think? Do you think he might have given these types of takedowns we're seeing? For the types of actions we are doing and going to do to Venezuela and Colombia and Mexico, all put on notice about their drug cartels out of control. I just looked through the chats. So anyway, there's little signs all over the place. People getting arrested and charged. Oh, is this guy here? Let me see. For messing with kids. Here we go. President Donald Trump says he intends to grant a full and complete pardon to former Honduran president, okay, I got that wrong, Juan Orlando Hernandez, a move that would erase a major U.S. drug trafficking conviction. Now, who had him convicted under what administration? Do you think he knows a few things? Do you think he could pick up the phone and get some compadres who might want a deal instead of spending 40 years in prison? They'll do a shorter amount of time and give material assistance. He had a 45-year federal prison sentence. I say yes. I say the only reason he was charged and convicted and sentenced to such a long period of time was he probably crossed somebody in the C.I.A. Okay? And other nefarious entities, right? Here's where I responded to some of these freaks about Hegseth. Wait, before I put that up, Hegseth's not backing down. Look at this little nitwit here, Adam Mockler. I didn't click on the video. I didn't click on it. But, he sounds like one of Batman's enemies. Okay, you got the Joker, the Riddler, the Mockler. Okay. Or Dick Tracy. He used to have weird adversaries, you know. So Adam Mockler, he got 300,000 views. New footage, MAGA Pete, shaken by his own crime footage. Boy, I'm going to tell you, you're walking a fine line, boy. He's showing what's the crime for. I didn't watch it. I'm not going to give him another click. I took a screenshot because what's he putting out to the public? Who's putting this kind of stuff in your head, kid? What are you trying to say? What, is that a remote control boat? There's nobody on board? You don't see barrels? So that means there's not drugs on it? That doesn't mean there couldn't be hidden compartments or a false floor? Are you stupid? You think the military doesn't have intelligence? Oh, it was an empty fishing boat with a lonely fisherman. Is that what you're trying to say? Well, how long has this been going on? Here, I found the picture. Video shows first U.S. strike. How long has this been going on? How are you trying to tie in the first strike when you know to do something like this in international waters? They had to cross their T's and dot their I's. They had intelligence. Okay? But for people scrolling by and for the wild-eyed liberals, this picture of Pete Hegseth is making it look like he's bombing innocent people. All part of a psychological warfare campaign. They're trained how to tweak people's psyches to create anger, distress, fear. Pete Hegseth put this out. For your Christmas wish list, Franklin targets narco-terrorists. Pow, 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 pow. Look, there's a double tap right there. See, it's blown up and there's a second one on the way. And look, there's some worth millions of dollars in some cases if they can get away with it. Hi, Miss Mendersu. Yeah, I was reminding everybody when I had a friend he passed away about 6 weeks ago. 83 years old. He was the one that used to say, "Are you stupid?" That was 30 years ago. And then now I see Trump doing it. But anyway, Hegseth didn't kowtow to this crap. He put out another comment. I'll put it up in a minute if I find it. But here's where I was responding to some of these people. Where to go? I'll find it. And I don't like putting wordy comments in, but sometimes you got to. I don't think this might have been Midas Trash Network. This might have been Occupy Democrats, which they haven't blocked me yet. But I put in there, we're in a formally declared armed there was one before that. Wait a minute. It was somebody that just posted, "This is horrible. This is murder. This is a war." And I said, listen to the expert here. And he came back and said, stating facts, isn't that funny? Because I put laughy faces. I said, listen to the expert here. So I said, Congress has been formally notified. The best construction of a sentence. I have trouble typing and I don't like doing it. But this person seemed genuine. He didn't insult me. But he thought he was stating facts. Okay? I said, Congress has been formally notified of armed conflict with predatory incursion, designated combatants. Different laws, period. no duty to risk American soldiers to, quote, rescue enemy combatants, only to destroy completely their weapons and ensure they don't escape to commit further harm. Even if they had a rescue helicopter with a trained diver trained diver personnel on hand, which they very well may not have had, why risk them? Why take a chance of return fire or ambush? Why leave millions of dollars of deadly cargo sealed and floating for Confederates to recover? Complete destruction. Roger that. You don't know the whole story. So this is a good way to respond to somebody that is not a bot, not a fanatical, rabid anti-Trumper. Get a screenshot of it. You can change the words around to make it a little more polished, but that is exactly what they need to see. And another wait a minute. Yeah. Whoa, wait a minute. Let's see. Another one, I said, we're in a formally declared armed conflict with a state that is engaged in predatory incursion into our country, dangerous drugs, and hundreds of thousands unlawfully residing within our borders, crimes, and draining national resources meant for the benefit of U.S. citizens. That's the violations of law, and we will stop it. And this was my response to someone said, they're breaking the law, plain and simple. No. The people that are residing in our country illegally, the ones who were granted citizenship for fraudulent purposes with an auto pen, people that took the power of the presidency, nefarious goals, people with a Marxist mentality. And I have to go back and get that 8-minute video where they were showing all the people that were dealing with Joe Biden and were dealing with the auto pen. We ought to write down their names. We're going to have a rogues gallery of people that were involved in this pseudo presidency of Joe Biden. The false president, his fraudulency, okay? And what's the response by them when Trump said, if Joe Biden says he did have something to do with the auto pen, he will be charged with perjury. Nothing. Crickets. Because Joe can't, he's at the point now where he all he can do is babble. But speaking of babbling, here is one of these CIA nitwits digging her own hole. I'll put it that way. Let me find, where did she go? She's doubling down. Well, where'd he go? I'll find it here in a second. Oh, wait a minute. Before I put that up, let me show you this. What the hell happened to this person? What happened to this person? Whoa. Is my, are you all able to hear me good? Oh, here we go. My screen wasn't responding and making me very angry. Look. Dems blame Trump for National Guard tragedy. White House fires back. That's Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She looks like she rolled down a 50-foot hill and somebody whacked her in the face with a flat shovel. Awful looking. they're under a lot of stress. Remember, she had to Anwari brothers or whatever. That's going to be a major thing. That's going to get some people a lot of time in prison. Yeah, okay, I'm seeing 505. Is that good? I don't know why there we go. Wasn't responding. And that aggravates me. So let me find that. Where'd that be? Here she is. This is at the Brookings Institute. The Brookings Institute. What's going on with the Brookings Institute? Well, that tied to Jake Sullivan. Remember Jake Sullivan? Tied up with the Hillary administration or State Department, and was Joe Biden's national security advisor, I think. But this is Alyssa Slotkin, a CIA plant in our government, in our House of Representatives, just like Adam Schiff was. She's a CIA insertion. So the Brookings Institute has ties to Jake Sullivan, and he's got ties to Hillary Dilly Doo Doo. But anyway, here she is running her mouth about the Trump being putting out unlawful orders.
As a CIA officer, be asked to target Americans, lift us into government against Trump's enemies with use of force in American cities, both federal law enforcement and the military. As of today, the president has attempted to deploy National Guard members across 5 cities, including right here in Washington. In August, the administration ordered the creation of new National Guard units, a standing quick reaction force that can be anywhere in the country, and then separately, National Guard units in all 50 states focused on quelling so-called civil disturbances. Trump has been very clear about his intent. At Quantico, instructed his military brass to use cities as, quote, training grounds. And many times, he's floated the idea of invoking the Insurrection Act so that military units can raid, detain, and arrest Americans. The president has already deployed ICE and other federal law enforcement to these same cities across America. In some cases, these federal officers are playing fast and loose with their tactics, which sooner or later could lead to a deadly escalation. The videos out of Chicago are shocking. Federal agents on highways, firing tear gas into neighborhoods right before a Halloween parade, injuring and even killing civilians. Many are masked, not wearing uniforms, and driving unmarked cars. For those, it feels like another country, and it's only a matter of time before things get worse. By my estimation, we're about 2 weeks away from a bloody incident that spirals out of control. And this is just the kind of wants to justify more force coming in.
2 weeks away. Oh, guess when she gave this little speech? Guess when she gave this little speech? Before, roughly 2 weeks before the guardsman got shot. Two weeks before the guardsman got shot. Ha ha! Creature from the Black Lagoon, yeah. She did look awful. But anyway, so yeah, that's a little fishy, isn't it? A CIA. Now, see, the CIA can't do domestic operations. You know that, don't you? They're not military. So she is violating the military code of conduct by denigrating the commander-in-chief. But she's a member of the House of Representatives and hide behind the speech and debate clause. But she's not on the the floor of the House. She's not speaking at the Capitol. She's at the Brookings Institute, undermining and denigrating the President of the United States and insinuating that he's acting illegally. And she's already put out that video calling on troops to disobey orders. Oh, I said unlawful orders. You know what you're doing. And if you get in front of a tribunal, they're going to know what you're doing too. And they're going to be pull up the exact verbiage in military law and civil law that's going to cook your goose. And it needs to be cooked. Saying that the National Guard is going to be arresting citizens. What do you mean by citizens? The people that came over by the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands that were granted citizenship for no other reason but than a voter drive? Skirting all the immigration laws and requirements? And were given citizenship now? You'll see that we can and will. And one of them that's going to get it is Ilhan Omar. She did a video. I didn't get a copy of it, but I want. We're not going to go anywhere. We have so many people that are citizens now. Their citizenship, you can't touch them. And I can go wherever I want. Well, you claimed to want an American citizen. Now you're saying it doesn't matter to you. You'll just go anywhere you want. I didn't get to watch this whole video, but oh, come on. Trying to get the stuff to come on screen. You know how I get when it doesn't. Hi, Lone Wolf. How you doing? Who else did I see? Kim's here. Sparky. I saw somebody I didn't see. Google accounts here. How you doing? Yvonne's here. But anyway, let me see what this whole video. Come on. Give it a second. It'll try to pop up, I imagine. But anyway, it's a video about Ilhan Omar. And I saw another post that somebody put, said her name's really not Omar. She came under a false identity. She didn't even give her accurate familial contacts. And then she married her brother, not so she could get in. She married her brother so her brother could get in. And that the family name is not Omar. It's another name. And we know her father was wanted for extrajudicial K-I-double-L. You know, and when you put that word or any other word that might cause problems, like K-I and then double L, one for an I, so it doesn't have the word in the chats because it gets me in trouble. The feds have identified Ilhan Omar's brother without a doubt. And it's not the same. And, you know, when you come in this country, you got to give your political ties, your familials, and you have to be accurate about it. And word on the street is she lied. Come on, get off the screen. Oh, my goodness. Doesn't want to cooperate. There you go. Now you're out of here. Man, I see the views popping way up and popping down, popping way up. Hi, Rick. How you doing? Nice to see you. There we go. Now, how many times have we seen this meme? I always said, when I was doing guest broadcast before I started my own channel, I said, Trump does political jujitsu. Jujitsu is when you use somebody else's momentum and direction and misdirect it to serve your offense. If somebody's charging you, you grab them by the collar and pull them real hard and help them along with their charge, and then stick your foot out so they trip right over your foot, and then you kick the you know what out of them. But anyway, use their own momentum against them. For my next trick, I'll make Democrats support the drug card. Well, how many times have we seen this meme? For my next trick, I'll get the Democrats to demand the Epstein's. And on it goes. That's what you call, folks, political jujitsu. Not Jewish jitsu, jujitsu. I guess go either way. The freaks freak you out. They freak us all out. Yeah. Andy No put up a disturbing fact. Let me find it. Oh, before I put that one up, here's this. Here's a blast from the past. Remember this situation? I got my video taken down and I got a strike. And I was gone for a week because the visage you see. Arrest warrant for Miss Universe co-owner. This was a couple of days ago. Do you all remember that? I played about a 20-second clip of this person wearing a spangly, skin-tight dress up to the podium. Blah, 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 blah. I think she was speaking Brazilian or something. They took my video down. And right strikes. Well, this person got involved in some kind of fraud scheme. That's why the arrest warrant is issued. But did you know, for those who don't, the reason I played that 20-second clip of this person was because it is actually a man. This is a man who transitioned into a woman and is now of the co-owner of this universe. And they got so offended that I pointed it out that I got suspended for a week. I'm trying to find that one that Andy No put up. You want to talk about a freak? Oh, I meant to put this up after I put up the comments on what we did in the double taps on the boats. And I was talking about the Bismarck. I wanted to bring up the Washington cross the Delaware. Why did he cross the Delaware? I meant to get a picture of him crossing Delaware when I was talking about it. He crossed the Delaware, Hessians. And what were the Hessians? The Hessians were mercenaries, unlawful combatants. What did George Washington do? He gave them wiped out. And this, the Battle of the Bulge, tree combat in the frozen Ardennes. This was about 90 days. No, wait a minute. Yeah, less than 100 days. Hitler put a slug in his own head. He did the Adrian offense, which is known as the Battle of the Bulge. Shot everybody. They thought it was a minor incursion. But by the time the conflict ended, there was over 1 million men involved. It was a last gasp blast. They threw everything. And behind U.S. lines. And what do you see on the thumbnail? We hated the SS. We KILL'd them all. What do you think they'd say about this? You should send a rescue helicopter. War. It's called war. Here you go. Oh, man. Come on. My screen won't work. Well, when they caught German soldiers in U.S. military uniforms, they were tried and they were executed. That's a violation of law of war. You don't wear a uniform, you pretend you're a civilian or a fisherman, and your hostile activities, that's the ultimate penalty. I'm waiting for my screen to react, folks. I'm trying to put something. Here we go. Here we go. Citizen freedom. British healthcare. British healthcare is science-based. See? Your body during pregnancy. It's a baby. This is the British healthcare system. Their tax dollars is paying for that crap to be printed up. Here's a guy came to the U.S. and one of his buddies said, "Hey, you want to do some practice? You want to do some practice shooting?" "Oh no, I've never." "Oh, go ahead." He's in America on somebody else's property with somebody else's guns, with their learning how to shoot a gun. He put one picture up and said, "My America to use a firearm." Well, guess what? Where'd everybody go? Wait a minute. He went to jail. Went to jail. Well, since we were talking about that, though, look here. What's that? A pride flag. What? A Japanese court has ruled that the country's ban as constitutional, bucking a trend set by courts around the country, raised hopes for marriage equality in Japan. So the Supreme Court says you ban same-sex marriage. Because until this dumb ages, nobody dreamt of changing your gender or claiming you could change it. or a man marrying a man. That stuff didn't come around till Barack Hussein Obama, have you heard of him, came into the picture. And now we got all this loony bin crap. Loony bin. Oh, here's the other one I want to play you. Now I want to know what this guy's problem is. He looks like he looks creepy. He looks like he has a psychological issue. Saying from a person who's had experience dealing with emotionally disturbed people in a professional setting, that he made me uncomfortable. But anyway, here he is digging a bigger hole. This funny how this double tap rumor came out just in time he thinks to save his bacon. No, buddy.
So would you refuse these specific orders to strike drug boats if you were still?
Difference between the initial strike and what is being reported, as a second strike, and those things are different. I think this administration has tied themselves in knots. The explanations that we have received on how this is all legal. And I was saying weeks ago, we're gonna put these individuals in a really, really tough decision, in a tough place. And they may find out, down the road that they did something that is illegal. It is not fair to them. That's why we need presidents and Secretary of Defense who understand the Constitution, who understand the rule of law, and have more respect for the Constitution and the country and service members than the whims like Trump control. Doesn't have control over himself. He doesn't work with rationale. What this somebody is saying. So I hope we're not getting a busted up broadcast over time. She had two winners. Well, Trump used a different term. He used the term retarded. I had a kid tell me that one time. He said, "You're retarded." Yeah, here's Kristen Welker. She's
dozens of people have more than $1 billion in taxpayer money from government programs during COVID. As you know, Governor, that is more than Minnesota spends each year to run its Department of Correction. So I want to give you a chance to respond to this. Do you take responsibility for failing to stop this fraud in your state?
Well, certainly. I take responsibility for putting, I will note, it's not just Somalis. Minnesota is a generous state. Minnesota is a prosperous state, a well-run state. We're AAA bond rated, but that attracts criminals. Those people are going to jail. We're doing everything we can, but to demonize an entire community on the actions of a few, it's late.
Yeah, it's I got a little lag time there, but anyway, yeah, he's in trouble. And every time I think about these, I keep in the back of my mind Governor Rick Scott. They arrested him. Remember that, folks? I showed you. I described the situation, and he did a lot. He didn't except cross the deep state. I need to talk about Ukraine real quick. Ukrainian. I'm going to have to go live tomorrow night, cover all this stuff I can't cover. Now I got to tell you all about Viktor Orban. But he's going to be a point man on this peace initiative. On his social media that he will be in Moscow today. This was yesterday or day before Ukraine with Putin. The agency quotes the Hungarian intends to discuss oil and gas supplies as well as efforts in Ukraine. But there's another one where he quoted the current government is like a mafia. This big galoot right here, this big galoot, and who's that big galoot standing next to Zelensky? And he was by the body language. But a short time after that, like barking at Zelensky, they bitch. And Zelensky didn't want to do it. He may have had something to do. Gas line getting blown up too. Zelensky signed a decree ahead of his office. Yermak. Remember that name? This has got raided, okay, by the for corruption. I'm telling you. I believe the word was out. There will be no peace as long as there is a criminal running Ukraine. And the past crimes are going to be got the information. We're talking about biolabs. We're talking about experimentation. We're talking about blowing up gas line. All kinds of stuff. Just listen to that video at the beginning. Now, see, this is a pain in the rear. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's what I got to do. I got to yell at it. Here, speaking of governors, governor's going to get arrested like Rick Perry. Governor Rick Perry of Texas got arrested. Come on now. There we go. Anyway, you all take your best guess. She'll identify herself if she ends up in handcuffs.
Hello, Oregon, Governor Kotek here. I want to talk with you about something that should concern every one of us. I believe, as you do, in the rule of law and keeping our community safe. We also believe in being a welcoming place where our immigrant and refugee communities help our state thrive. The ongoing violent actions of the Federal Department of Homeland Security are unacceptable. Going after Oregonians and stoking fear in the name of immigration enforcement. But using excessive force, reckless local law enforcement in danger. In Oregon, no government agency is above the law. I fully support on notice. Oregon is monitoring all ICE actions closely. We will investigate misconduct, and if federal officer breaks Oregon law, they will be held accountable, just like anyone else. I will not tolerate reckless or unconstitutional behavior in our state. While ICE activity has seen an uptick in recent weeks, so is the commitment of Oregonians to show up for each other, taking care of their neighbors, and standing up when they see something that isn't right. Thank you for doing that. Let's continue to work together to defend the safety, dignity, and rights of every Oregon.
These governors that are inciting ICE people, members of ICE, the national, I hope that people like her are held accountable. Class action lawsuits are very powerful. I'm going to be going live to something's going to go down tomorrow. I can't go through each. I heard that Witkoff is on his way back to the U.S. And I already did. I did thank Mike and Bev, and I thank Wayne, and I thank Gary. We're still got a couple of days left of the month. If anybody wants to help the channel out, on Buy Me a channel. I don't get anything from YouTube channel, and appreciates my efforts. I have a link in the description. Post it to get to it, but it's Buy Me a Coffee. Go on too. It's not just live stream. You can go to Buy Me a Coffee, so make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Holy cow. Here we go. Ever see this one? Is my voice choppy? Is my voice choppy? Tomorrow's the 1st. Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I was thinking 31 days. No, it's November 30. Ha ha ha. and subscribe to this video. See you soon. This is Mountain Man. Over.
I love or charge white works, and that's just me being very blunt. This rates, and then I'll have like a nonprofit.
Somebody doing some work and they'll be like, I've only got this much money, and I'm like, keep it. A white person just cut me.
On camera to race-based price discrimination, which is because who cares? Racism against white people is normal. This is not even controversial. I'm pretty sure you have seen worse. And I would say, talking about white privilege, this is privilege. Privilege is to be able to go on a podcast and openly brag about the fact that you discriminate based on race. If a white person did this, they would be done. Something to think about. I hope this helps.